When I'm seeing you walk into a photo booth with another girl and the girls are telling me you're being flirty with them, I will be reporting back.
Kal didn't see me as an equal. I didn't feel like I had a voice in that relationship.
There are going to be compromises you both have to make, but he wasn't willing to.
You did him dirty, and I did do him dirty.
I think people
Everyone was
probably
like,
be
boring.
that, yeah.
Hi, I'm Sarover. Hi, I'm Katisha.
Hi, I'm Kieran,
I'm Megan.
Hi, I'm Bardha.
And hi, I'm Ashleigh.
and we're getting up close with Cosmopolitan UK.
Congratulations on your nuptials. How's life been since Love is Blind?
Yeah, it's been amazing. We just had the most fun in the last year. Like, we've just been going to gigs, going to festivals. Like, yeah, just we moved in together. Yeah, we're just having a belter, aren't we?
Yeah, honestly, it's been pretty seamless, actually. I know lots of people have been like, surely not, but yeah, it's actually what you saw on the show. We've literally been on an uphill journey since then.
That's nice. A lot of couples had a few kind of doubts or concerns. Was it always a yes for the both of you?
I think we were always very sure on each other. I don't necessarily think we could have said straight away, like, we're definitely going to get married. Like, we did the experiment properly. We asked all the questions we needed to ask to go through to get to the point where we were so sure at the altar. Like, I knew that Meg was going to say yes. She knew I was going to say yes when we got to that altar.
Yeah.
There was never any doubt by that point. But I think we did it properly, and we went through the experience. I couldn't have necessarily told you, 3 weeks before that I was 100% yes. We did it in the right way.
We definitely needed the time with each other
Yeah.
to learn everything we needed to know and have experiences, and even just like simple things like date nights and like living together and making dinner and like the little things. We needed to do that to know whether we could get married. Like, marriage is a huge thing. It's not something you do lightly.
No, I think we would have stayed together regardless. I just think the accelerating at that speed requires some very key conversations to happen, and we did those, and we were very comfortable by the time we got to the altar.
We'll start with you, Katisha. Obviously, your journey was cut short. How are things now with you and Javen?
I have had to put a few boundaries in place with Javen and I. I felt like he just wants to kind of just go along and be friends and act like nothing's happened, and it got to a point where it just didn't sit right with me. Like, I could be okay and just be like, no worries, but that doesn't correlate with my story and my stance and my decision and his behaviour. So yeah, I've had to put a few boundaries in place.
And how is he taking to those boundaries, would you say?
Yeah, he's fine. Like, I put it in a really nice, eloquent, polite way, and I just asked him to respect how I feel and respect my wishes, and he's like, yeah, that's fine. Thanks for it. And he just said, thanks for expressing that to me.
And obviously you had a connection with Demola as well. Have you spoken to him since this experience?
Yeah, we chat still.
All good?
Yeah, all good. Yeah, we're friends.
That's nice. What was it that made you choose Javen? And what was it that you saw in him that made you say that connection was stronger?
It was based on values, basically, and a lot of things that isn't shown. Obviously, like, you see in it that he says, like, where I'm from and something about having sex or something. He's like, tick, tick. And that conversation was a lot longer than is shown. I was really impressed by Javen's work ethic, his lifestyle. He just recently bought his own house. He listened to a lot of the things that I was saying, like, and he empathised with some of the things that I was saying. We've both been through, like, a lot of hardships, and we connected on those kind of things.
While things were quite smooth with you guys, you had a little bit of an issue with Javen. Can you tell us what actually happened on that night? Because we didn't get to see it.
Yeah, so I mean, we were out. We were the only, obviously, couple from the experiment that were out. To be honest, we were just having an absolutely great time dancing on the dance floor most of the night. You see a little clip of us dancing. We were doing that all night. And we saw Jav turn up on his own, which initially I was like, why is he on his own? Like, that's strange. And then we saw him chatting to lots of people, the infamous photo booth situation where he was talking to Sophie on the dance floor, and then they took themselves over to a photo booth that was sort of in a dark corner of the club. I couldn't really see them once they went in the photo booth, and we were like, that's strange, like, we don't know why that's happening. Yeah. So yeah, we ultimately saw Jav bopping about talking to lots of the girls from the show.
Yeah, and the girls have made comments like saying he was being flirty with them. So it's like, when I'm seeing you walk into a photo booth with another girl and the girls are telling me you're being flowy with them, I mean, you've got a fiance. Is there anything else like to say about that? No, like I will be reporting back, obviously.
Are you still in touch with Katisha?
Yeah, I still talk to Katisha. She's a gorgeous girl.
And Javen?
I've never, no.
You've never had a relationship.
No, like
I've always been on good terms with Jav and still am. Like from the right in the pod days to now, like we've always been on good terms. But yeah, you've never really had a relationship with him.
Well, we've never closed that situation. Like I've never had an apology for being called a liar, so we're not friends.
Yeah. Mr. Sarover, we saw you get married on the show. What happened?
Oh gosh, what happened? It only lasted a few months, and marriage takes compromise. Marriage takes two people together, two people making decisions, two people, they go through everything together. And if I'm going to be honest, Kal didn't see me as an equal. I didn't feel like I had a voice in that relationship. I didn't feel I had a say, and there was no compromise. And at one point it got to the 2nd of Jan and he ended it without any conversation. It was, this is the decision, it's the best for both of us, and that's that. And I was blindsided. I just got married. It was literally been 3 months and I didn't know what happened. I didn't know what went wrong. And even when I tried to ask him later, it's been horrible. I've got stuff that he wasn't in love. He's saying that nothing lasts forever. And it just goes on and on. So the Kal I fell in love with was not the Kal that I was married to when we came into the outside world.
How are things now with you and him? Do you speak?
I tried for months to get answers out of him, and he wasn't respectful, and he never gave me those answers because I wanted to communicate. Let's have the conversation. This is a marriage, a real marriage. And because of that, I can't have communication with someone who just doesn't respect me. So there's no communication there at all.
Who would you say you're closest to out of the cast then?
Out of the girlies, I love Anu. Anu and Laurie are my girlies. I love them to bits and we hang out all the time. We actually went to paddle the other week.
You get on with loads of the girls.
Yeah, I get on with loads. Like, I literally love everyone. I literally get on with everyone, but they're my girlies that I hang out with a lot. Yeah, we chat to a lot.
And similar to me, like I get on with all of the guys. I had good chats with all of them throughout the process. The boys that I see the most since, like, or that I bonded with the most were, I mean, you see me maul Charlie when he comes into the mixer in the background somewhere. Charlie, James, and Tom are sort of the boys I probably have spent the most time with since, and I love them to pieces. They're great.
Ashleigh, we saw you get married on the show. What happened with you guys?
So him saying yes was the biggest reassurance that I needed for him to now say, let's go for this, Ash. You know, the job thing's not going to be a problem. I wish he had said no to me because I think he's driven by fear. And I think in the moment he got carried away and really wasn't ready for marriage again. Having been married before as well, I really thought he would make the right decision for me and him. So we kicked off marriage life. I guess I felt like this was where we should be, and he just was very much dating me. It didn't feel like we were a committed team up there. I was always reassuring him and saying like, oh, you know, in 3 months' time, maybe we should look to the next stage in our marriage. Will that be moving down south, which he committed to in the pods. But when we left the experiment, the cameras were away, he didn't want to go near the south. So I feel like I was let down by Billy. I didn't feel like it was a marriage when we left, and there were obstacles. Again, I was willing to fight for and work on, like marriages. We've said there is going to be differences, there are going to be compromises you both have to make, but he wasn't willing to. And then it broke down in early January, similar time to Sarover. Yeah. And I drove up 2.5 hours to have that conversation with him because I didn't want to meet halfway. He couldn't have come down to me. It wasn't the right setting at home. And he just said he didn't see a future with me and he was out. And for 3 months, really, like, is that a man who wants a real marriage? I said, let's fight for this. Let's make it work. And he was way checked out.
There was no fight from Billy or Kal.
There was no fight from Billy or Kal. And
Or Jav.
Yeah.
Or Jed.
Actually.
Yeah.
Speaking of Jed, where are things now between you two?
Nowhere. Yeah, I think it was hard for him to get over the no. And I don't think he ever intended to. He didn't try, he didn't want to. And I was fighting a losing battle, trying to make it work on my own. So I left. I didn't give him 3 months, 3 weeks more like, but I think it was more than enough to completely throw myself into a relationship that was giving me absolutely nothing.
You had a connection with Sophie in the pods. What was it like seeing her in person?
Well, I think, look, everyone's dating everyone in this experiment. And I think you see a small snippet of certain dates. Like, whilst I was dating Sophie and then obviously put my cards on the table for Megan, got to understand Megan was also dating other people at that point, right? You just don't necessarily see that. So for me, it wasn't a big deal necessarily that Sophie was coming to the mixer. But I had heard that, and what I obviously knew from our chats, that she was very upset by how the kind of situation panned out. And look, I don't like upsetting people. It's not nice to see that you've upset someone. So I thought it was important for her that I sort of went over and sort of double explained myself and the situation, and made sure she was all right, because I don't want someone to be upset. So yeah.
Meg, did you have a connection with anyone that we didn't see then, or anyone that you got on well with?
Like same as everybody in the experiment, like we were all dating everyone. So Kieran was always my number one, but I was talking to other people throughout the experiment. I did have connections, but I think that's the same as everybody else.
Yeah, same, yeah.
Looking back, is there anything any of you would have done differently?
Actually,
Realistically, I probably wouldn't have picked someone else, because I went with my instincts, with my connection, and if he were that person that he pretended to be, we'd probably still be together. But he sold me a dream, and I think it's similar for all of our cases. Yeah. And I don't want to speak on anyone's behalf, but if they were the guys that we dated in the pods,
we would still.
And if they were there seriously ready for marriage, that's the difference, you know. Yeah, I wouldn't change anything.
Yeah. I think what I would have done differently is maybe given it a bit more time. Yeah. Because I think if we got to the altar and we both said no and said let's date, his true colours would have come out without me getting married.
Yeah, I feel like time is the biggest thing. Like it was very time constrained, even in the pods, to make a decision. And I just want to add as well, like with Demola and I, like we have talked at length about what happened, and we've had really deep chats about it. Like I've apologized, and we're in a really good place in our friendship. So it's not like, I think a lot of people are like, you did him dirty, and I did do him dirty, but him and I are in a good place. The relationship is still solid.
You both got hurt, and you're both friends, and that's all that matters.
Yeah. There's no hard feelings.
No hard feelings. Yeah.
Put it behind you.
I highly of you. You speak highly of him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Have you seen most of the episodes?
We've seen them all.
Okay. Is there anything that didn't air that you think would make your journey clearer, or that you would have liked to have seen?
In all honesty, for us, like I think it was a pretty real portrayal of the journey that we went on. It's a very small snippet of the whole experience, and to be honest, if you had more footage of me and Megan, you'd just have more footage of us being absolute idiots together. And
I think everyone would be like, just
everyone would be like, yeah, we've had enough of that, to be honest. So yeah, I think there was some stuff that we did, like we went and met families and things like that, which would have been nice to see, but ultimately everyone was really supportive, so it probably doesn't add much to our story. Our story was pretty plain sailing.
Yeah, we were pretty lovey-dovey, so I think everyone and I think that portrayed, I think we didn't need more of that.
Yeah, probably. I think people
Everyone
would
was
probably
like,
be
boring.
bored with that, yeah.
But maybe our families. I think it would have been nice if we would have met our families and see my mum meeting Kieran for the first time, me meeting your family. They were really lovely interactions. No one got to see, which was unfortunate.
Yeah.
But again, I don't think it was like detrimental to.
Yeah, I think our story was portrayed pretty well.
Yeah.
Were you surprised to see that the other couples that got married, it didn't work out for them?
That's a tough question, because we still speak to obviously all the people in the show, but I felt like everyone was keeping their cards quite close to their chest as to kind of what had happened, and we didn't really know. So coming to the reunion, we were interested to find out like what had happened. I'm still not sure we have real clarity on what exactly went wrong in the relationships, and we're a little bit confused, I would say. Still, I think that's fair.
I had like every hope for all of the couples.
Yeah.
Like we wanted to see them all thriving, and living their best lives. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like that everyone put so much effort into it and like poured their hearts into this experiment.
Yeah.
For it to not work out, it is so sad to see. But they're all going to find their people. But
Yeah.
I just think
We love them all
right
as
for them.
we love them all as individuals. So
Yeah.
we hope that they find someone.
Thanks for watching.
Catch Love is Blind.
Streaming on Netflix.